Its energy surrounds us and binds us.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 35 of the Carbonite Convos Podcast. We have a really fun one for you today. If this is your first time joining us, you've just taken your first step into a larger world. And like always, if you're a returning viewer, we can't thank you enough for tuning into another live episode of our podcast here. We've had a fun week full of action. We've had a decent few videos come out in the last 3 or 4 days, and it's only Tuesday. But we're super excited to get into it with you guys tonight. I see we already have one person in the chat, but I will throw it over to my co-host Alec to introduce the chat and to start this thing off.
Nick, man, how we doing tonight?
I cannot complain. I'm excited to, this is the first time we're talking about an actual Star Wars topic instead of just news, so I'm excited.
For sure. As always, before we get into this thing, guys, as usual, go hit that subscribe button at the bottom as well as that bell button. It, helps you guys stay alert with what we're doing, and it allows us to put more stuff out, as well as everything we have on our social media. You can find on there, everything on the channels up there as well. And, Nick and I actually have some personal social media that we think we put some pretty dope content on. So go check that out as well.
Yes, sir. And guys, don't forget that a large portion of what we're doing here on the channel is over on our second channel, which is called Carbonite Collecting, where we go in depth into our channels. So I'm going to throw it back to Alec really quick to introduce the live chat before we get starting, see if there's anybody in there.
Yeah, I'm just seeing Kaylee D. She said hello. So
hello, Kaylee.
Back at you. What's going on, Kaylee? Thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir. All right. So are we ready to go, Alec?
Dude, I'm ready to get into it. I think this is going to be a pretty cool concept. So.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So tonight we are actually talking about who we think the real hero of Star Wars is. So obviously, you could pick someone like Luke Skywalker, Anakin Skywalker, and Obi-Wan, whoever. And I'm sure, I don't know who Alec picked. I have an unconventional one, but we're just going to have a nice little debate tonight, because usually it's hard for us to have a debate because, I don't know if
we always agree.
Yeah, I don't know if this is good or bad, but we're always agreeing with each other. So, this will be a way for us to have a good little debate. Before I get started, also, sorry, really quick, Alec.
Go ahead.
Guys, we're still working through sound issues, so if you, if we're having any sound issues, please just let us know. But, other than that, Alec, I think we're ready to get started.
For sure. I real quick, I think it's kind of funny, though. Like, we do tend to agree on 98% of things, and when we do disagree, it's on things that don't really matter. Like,
yeah,
it could be a lightsaber color, or it could be literally what robe a Jedi is wearing, or yada yada, anything random, but things that don't necessarily matter towards the actual story.
Exactly. So we haven't really gone too in depth of how we're going to format this. So I say we just get started. Alec, do you want me to and I don't think we should do this as a list.
No, just go through it, because I already know who yours is. Like, when you brought up the concept, if I didn't guess it right, we weren't actually friends. So I knew exactly what yours was going to be. So let's get into that one.
Yep, definitely. All right. So well, again, I'm not going to talk through everything. I'm just going to say the first thing of mine, and then you go into yours, and we'll just kind of talk about it. So
sure.
I wish you didn't know mine, but unfortunately, you know me too well, because this is all I talk about. So and I should have said this before when we were planning, I should have said unlikely hero, because it's easy to pick Luke or Anakin, you know what I mean? But mine is the most reliable character, not even a human, in R2-D2. This little guy, and if you know anything about me, I talk about he's my favorite character in Star Wars. After the sequel trilogy, he kind of dipped off a little bit, but because they didn't really utilize him a lot. So after seeing him in Mando, after knowing he's getting a new series, I'm so glad to have more R2-D2 content. But I'm going to start it off and I'm going to go in chronologically here for a little bit. My first thing is, without R2, they would have never made it to Tatooine. They would not to Tatooine. They would have never escaped the Trade Federation's blockade in the Phantom Menace. So right there, you're trying to get off a planet. You have 4 little astromech droids that go out, 3 just get pounded off. And R2's able to, he's able to activate the shields, and they're able to get out of there. So I think that right there, if he doesn't do that, they don't find Anakin, Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, they're both gone. So those are 3 pivotal, and Padme. So those are, pivotal characters in the Star Wars story right off the bat,
No, for sure. He does so many things throughout every trilogy. And to your point earlier, like, yes, R2 did fall off in the sequel trilogy because he didn't get utilized, but in a way he also was a little bit more developed at the same time because he was depressed, right? Because Luke was missing, yada, yada, yada. No one knew where he was. We all know the story. We've argued before, do droids have feelings? Not argued, but debated on and had the conversation about. But I think that alone right there, R2-D2 alone answers that question because
he's more like a pet than robot, like a companion.
I don't know if pet is a good word to describe it because he's his own. He can obviously handle his own.
Yeah,
I'd say more of a sidekick. If that's more, I don't know if that's more fitting or not. Mm-hmm. That's just more what comes to my mind personally.
Yeah. No, I get it. He's my favorite character. So that's a whole separate conversation what droids actually are because they're not human. They're not even human. They're not like robots in real life. They're not sentient technically.
Right.
But they're smarter than most of us. They know, all of us. They know what they're doing. They're in Star Wars. They're in control of their own actions. So that's a whole debate in itself. But I kind of picture R2 and droids of that nature more of a, like I mentioned, a companion rather than companion / sidekick to say them both. But I'm excited to get into yours
because R2 is a regular astromech. There's nothing special about him. Right, aside from take away everything that he's not everything he's been through, but everything he knows, because obviously his memory has never been wiped. Right, so like that's part of what allows him to stay a step ahead of everything is because he's just been around for a long time. But take that away. What is it about R2-D2 that sets him aside to be able to do remarkable things? Because he's built just like the rest of them. Do you? And this is I don't know if this question could be answered, but do you feel as if the Force can flow through droids at all?
If you're going off Legends, yes, there are like Force-sensitive droids. R5 was a Force-sensitive droid in Legends.
And I'm not saying Force-sensitive. I'm saying kind of like Chirrut, how he is put into the right situation because he is so strong and so strongly connected to whatever it is that makes up the Force. Do you think R2 could fall into that line, and that's what's been able to make him a hero?
Well, I think that's a very big psychological question or philosophical question more of, because I'm going to go off of when Yoda talks about the Force. When he talks about the Force, it's more, it flows through every living thing.
Right.
So, grass, it's not an animal, it's nothing like that, but it is a living thing on this earth. Dirt, soil, trees, all this stuff, those are living things. And I don't think that droids, if we're comparing them to, our, robots in the real world, I don't think they're living things. But, the Force works in mysterious ways. So it's hard to answer that question because I don't think there is a right answer,
And this is maybe the other end of the topic. And I don't know if there's an answer to this. I just feel like it might be kind of interesting, is either that, or do you think there might be some sort of connection with a droid to the person who owns it? Like, compare R2 to Anakin or R2 to Luke, and like Hera and Chopper, and so on and so forth. Like, obviously Chopper's incredible too. He's a badass. Is it his connection with Hera that is allowing him to do that, or?
Well, they might not technically be a living thing, but if watching Star Wars, you can tell that they have a very strong bond with whoever they're whoever they're with. R2 and C-3PO, they're best friends.
Right.
They even say that they're friends. So it again, it's a hard question because it goes a lot deeper than, are droids real? It's like, can they feel these things? In Star Wars, they feel pain. They
Right.
feel confusion, anger. Like, R2 has an attitude like no other. So
Right.
it's hard. But I definitely think they form those attachments with the people they're, paired with or whoever they're with. Because I'll give you, for instance, when Kanan dies in Star Wars Rebel, when he dies in sorry, I was reading some news that just came out. When Kanan dies in Rebels, Hera is very distraught. She's very distraught, and one of the things that makes Chopper different than other astromechs is he has those two hands that are always out.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're always He has.
He can put them back in, but
yeah, but he doesn't. Does he?
Yeah, sure.
Wow, I'm brain.
No, it goes. So he can put it back in.
I don't, dude. I'm having a brain fart
I'm
because
like 99% sure.
R2's always, he never has it out, but Chopper I think always has those out. I don't know.
We'd have to go
Whichever.
look.
He has those hands, and he goes up, and he Hera's standing there alone, just kind of contemplating what happened, and he takes her by the hand. So I think that's one of those instances that really shows how the droids have those attachments and how they do technically, quote, feel. You know what I mean?
Right. It kind of. I know this is very off topic. Actually, real quick before that, did you just go to look at your pops to see if the Chopper pop had his arms
it does.
out? Okay.
His arms are out.
No, it's
and
just
I
funny.
have the Imperial one too. So
I think it's funny. Instead of us
out.
just looking it up online, we just look at our collection to figure it out.
It's easier.
Anyways, sorry. Let's kind of compare that to, again, a little bit off topic, but just kind of to emphasize the point. Look at any like super battle droid or anything like that. I know they're mass produced and they're not intelligent or anything like that, but they're designed to be able to fight, right?
Yeah.
But look who their leader is. Leaders and people in charge of them. They're people who are predominantly more on the I don't want to say dark side, but I mean, yes.
Well, they are.
They are, but like, you get what I'm trying to say, right? They're just not as good quality leaders and so on and so forth. And I wonder if it's partly because of that why they just suck so much. Again, I know they're not very smart and there's so many of them, but I feel like that has to have some sort of correlation,
I don't know. It could. It very well could, but I think we got a little down a rabbit hole on that one for sure. I'm still waiting to hear your pick.
Oh, that's right. We haven't said it yet. So I took it the exact same way you did. Unlikely hero.
Okay, good.
I mean, yeah. So who I decided to go into, and I'm actually kind of surprised you didn't expect me to pick this one, Leia.
Huh. Of all of oh man, we can debate all day on this one now.
Dude, I love Leia. Like, especially like going back. Remember we used to play Battlefront all the time, dude. She was my go-to.
Yeah,
she was phenomenal. Anyways, why I think I have like a list here, so we'll kind of work our way through it.
Yeah.
But why I think she's the true hero, unlikely hero, is, dude, she's the forgotten Skywalker, literally. Like, she comes from the same blood, the same power, the same ancestry, all that. She felt the exact same pain and desire to get back at the Empire as Luke did, probably even more. I mean, and I don't know about you, but I think we have this conversation all the time. Like, what is Star Wars at its purest point? Is family and love and all those sort of things. But she is literally the embodiment of hope.
Yeah,
it says it from the very moment that this whole universe is created. One of the very first things you ever hear is, "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope."
Yeah.
Right from there, from the start, she is set up to be the hero because of that first instance. Right?
I get that.
Look at how she's developed throughout everything. Not only was she one of like the honchos of this rebellion. She was a symbol for it. You know, obviously not quite at first, but once they took down the Death Star and everything like that, she was it, man. She was big dog on campus, right?
Yeah.
Because of what she did, how she embodied hope, and she just made good moves. Because the Force is just as strong in her as anybody else around them.
See, it's hard. You're exactly right. It's hard to, because I don't want to disagree with you, because that's a fantastic, and there's no right answer. So I think that's an awesome opinion. I like how you bring in hope, that because I think, you know, when I think of Star Wars and Marvel and all this stuff, it almost, you know, as those franchises continue to grow, they continue to give me hope throughout life, you know?
Right.
We learn a lot from these characters, and, you know, I consider myself, and you too, trying to, you know, make a career out of this, like make it something where we can engulf ourselves in this pretty much imaginary world, even though they bring it into reality, and we can pretty much go live in Star Wars if we wanted to, in Orlando and stuff like that. But like, that's what Star Wars and Marvel provides for me, is this hope. It just helps you. It's helped me navigate through, you know, certain points of life. You know, we learn a lot through these franchises. So I really do enjoy what you said about hope.
100%, dude. These characters, and not just us, like there's a huge chunk of the fandom that feel the exact same way, that these characters become symbols and something to look forward to in life, because, you know, just like for everybody, life gets hard, man. Like, and when you have pleasures in life that make things worth working towards, and give you something to look forward to, and give you hope to keep moving forward and keep doing your job and keep, you know, making it through every single day. Like, no one has any, you know, reason to say that these characters don't resemble that. You know what I'm saying? Or aren't a symbol for that.
For sure. For sure.
But you know, the list for her, I mean, it goes on and on. Like, I have a
same, man. Don't worry. I'm about to debunk yours really quick, buddy.
Before I meant to show this as I introduced her. My little presentation today was Leia. I was going to show her at the same time as I announced my pick, but and you have a little R2, Dagobah R2, right?
Yeah, I took the base off.
Yeah, I've thought.
For those listening, we're showing the Funko Pops right now.
Yeah. But yeah, you want to go down some of those reasons that you picked.
I mean,
or no, you want to debunk?
How
How dare you,
dude? This is gonna line up so perfectly. I'm so happy. So the second one on my list is, and it kind of goes, you know, not R2 saving the galaxy, but saving certain people. You know, he saved Padme from the lava in the droid factory on Geonosis. After tipping C-3PO over the edge, after Anakin and Padme fall down in there, she, in an unlikely scenario in Star Wars where there's this damsel in distress type of deal. I don't think that doesn't really happen a lot.
No.
And this was, you know, one of the only times I can think of, and, you know, R2 came through, and I say debunk. Obviously, I'm not trying to debunk your theory, because I really like Leia as a pick. I think it's a fantastic one. But, you know, if Padme gets a ton, like literally what is it, a metric ton? Is that wait, no, never mind. That was dumb. Like a fluid, I'm trying to think of a fluid measurement, but I can't, because it's not gallons. It's a huge tube of freaking.
You could say metrics. I think you could say metric tons of water.
Well, it was lava.
Of liquid, yeah. Whatever.
All right, well, she was about to get a crap ton of burning lava just poured on her while she's stuck in that little, while she's stuck in that tube or whatever it is. And, you know, R2 saves the day with his little extra arm, whatever it's called, but it's the thing that decodes all the doors, does that. And that's another one, too. So, you know, if Padme dies right there, there's no Leia. There's no Luke Skywalker, so I don't know. That was the next one on my list.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, going along with that, he is the one that puts C-3PO back together on, after the Battle of Geonosis. So, C-3PO would. Wow, do you think they would have just left 3PO there?
I don't know.
I doubt it.
We just had Brett hop in the chat. What's going on, man?
What's up, Brett? Thanks for joining. For those of you just joining, we're going over our favorite, who we think is the hero of Star Wars. I'm debating
most unlikely hero.
I'm debating R2, and Alex debating Leia. What I was going back to is, you'd think after the Battle of Geonosis, I'm sure that the Jedi went back and got the bodies of the Jedi to, honor them. I'd have to imagine they picked up their lightsabers too. So if they stumbled across 3PO, I'd like to think they would. But he's also
an asset at that point. They need that. They can't afford that information out there.
But he's also on a battle droid's body at that point. So it might be if they see this random head, they might not be too prone to get it.
So you made a good point earlier that kind of sparked. Not necessarily sparked an idea, but just an interesting point. Why R2 is again all the hero as everybody else is. I feel like him of all others, or R2 above all others, has a good understanding of bending the rules to do the right thing, because I think that's the balance between light and dark, right? Is deciding what's right and what's wrong. And look at how many people fail when that opportunity comes up. Anakin was supposed to be the best of all of them, and he failed when the opportunity came. I can't think of a time R2 ever failed, because he's a little bit on the disobedient side.
Yeah.
He does.
Like I said earlier, he has an attitude.
He has an attitude. But I can't think of any opportunity, anything he ever did that got anyone else in trouble off the top of my head. He might have, and if it wasn't anything crazy other than just like him being hurt or on accident or something like that. But he would go out of his way to bend the rules, and in the end, he would actually end up making the right decision.
Yeah, no, I get that. And I think it's amazing how Anakin, going to the Clone Wars, I can't remember what episode, but R2 he's so valuable that when he got taken by the Separatists and General Grievous and stuff, Anakin and Ahsoka went clear out of their way. They put themselves both at enormous risk to save R2. So I thought that was, I think that's a big one in general, because if that happened to 3PO, I can't imagine this all-out mission to go get him at the point of Clone Wars. Maybe towards the towards the middle end of the original.
If that happened, some people might be relieved.
Well, some people. I like 3PO. He is annoying.
I do too. He's a little annoying.
He's annoying at times, but I think he got some good redemption in Rise of Skywalker. If that movie was good to anybody, I think it was. I liked Rise of Skywalker. You love it.
I did.
But
if
that brought a character from this to this, I think it was 3PO, because he was vital to that movie.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you, 100%.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you. Part of how I prepared for this episode was I went back to the video I made a few months ago of R2's top 5 prequel moments. I didn't use them all, but I had to go back to that because some of those were very crucial in this story.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So let's hear more Leia.
So I don't want to. I'm not saying argue against your point of what makes a hero, but again, this is just my opinion, and one of the things that makes someone a hero is the impact they have on the people around them. Okay, I think of anyone else, Leia stands out alone on her ability to do that. Right?
Yeah.
Look at the impact she had on Han, someone who didn't believe in the Force, thought it was a bunch of hoax, whatever, was in it for his own. It was him and Chewie against the world, and she managed to turn him and teach him how to love something again. Look at the impact she had on Poe.
Yeah,
a hotshot young dude who was big head, was making the wrong decisions. She bred him for leadership. Look at how the Ewoks reacted when they ran into them. they're little bees. I mean, they're cute little teddy bears, but they'll mess you up,
No, I agree.
right? And they treated her like a queen. Why? They didn't have to, but they chose to because of the energy
That is a good point.
and
Well,
the way she makes everyone else better around her.
I think going off of what you said earlier about Hope is going off of that, she's a very trustworthy person. The second she meets Wicket, the second she meets him, she's trying to help him, make him feel comfortable, make sure he knows she's not a threat.
Right.
So, and clearly
it shows her she's so skillful, dude. Like, she could have been a Jedi if she really wanted to.
Yeah.
Right? She's the greatest general the rebellion ever had, and potentially any army ever had in the created universe. She literally strangled a huge blob in Jabba the Hutt while she was literally being held as a slave. Dude, she lost all of her people. Not even, like, she didn't know it at the time, but that wasn't even her real family. Those weren't even her real people.
Yeah.
Right?
Going back, this is off topic.
So she lost people. So she lost people twice.
Yeah. No, she went through a lot.
Sorry, what were you saying?
How the hell did she kill Jabba? I still am not sold on that. There's no way that she could have done that.
No, I know.
No way.
How thick his fat is? No shot.
I know I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but part of what I was gonna say about this about R2 came from that same exact scene. Sorry, I'm making sure because I would like to go back to the prequels just a little bit. But going off of that, he infiltrates Jabba's palace. 3PO doesn't know the plan. Doesn't know the plan whatsoever. They infiltrate Jabba's palace to help rescue Han. Meanwhile, the whole time, he has a lightsaber on him because he knew that him and Luke both knew that most likely when they go there, they'll be taken. Luke, when he comes, he'll be taken. He'll, I'm sure be stripped of everything important he has on him. So
right.
They're not going to do that to a droid. What are they going to check everything inside of him? No, they just put him up on the barge as a little robot bartender. So, he's holding... You wonder if Luke doesn't have his lightsaber in those scenes, does he... do they escape? I think that's a big question because obviously... It's a very talented group, but you have Han.
Well, that's the most useful tool in the galaxy.
Yeah, and Han's blind, so he's automatically not a help. But right. I think him coming in clutch there, like he always does, that was a super big part of it too.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Like his ability to. He just has something about him that he's always a step ahead of everybody. Yeah. And again, part of it might be the reason, like how his memory was never wiped, but it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Like he was just always in the right place at the right time, makes the right decision. And I don't know if that's the Force or not, but he has something going for him.
Yeah. That he do.
The other thing I had on Leia, and it kind of ties it all together is,
I got a lot more.
I mean,
we could go on about this.
100%. But I feel like hope and bravery are kind of like one and the same. Because like when your back is against the wall, you need bravery to kickstart that hope and get things going. And the things she was able to do out of pure bravery are absolutely incredible. Like they literally let's talk about how she insulted Tarkin. Like, how are you gonna look at this military galactic leader in the face and just insult him right there?
Yeah, just pretty much tell him he smells like crap.
Yeah, it's literally a death. It's asking to get killed.
I recognize your foul stench from the moment I was brought on board.
Right.
No, I know she's got some oomph in her for sure.
And then, dude, she kept up with Luke and Han the entire time. Like, I feel like she could easily probably kept up with Han, but she kept up with Luke. He's a Jedi.
And it's, she did this all the... When you look at Luke, there was always, especially in Return of the Jedi, and a little bit in Empire Strikes Back, you have this feeling of if he's going to turn to the dark side. You see, I don't know. Not that he has. I'm looking for the right word. Not that he's confused or anything like that, but I think he's more. He would have been more easily swayed to the dark side. So props to him for not going down that path.
Right.
But Leia, throughout the comics, books, everything, you never really have that thought that she could go down the dark path, and she's just as much Vader's kid as Luke.
Right.
So, I think that says a lot about her character as well.
100%. I mean, that's such a good point. Like, they're the same genetics.
Yeah.
Literally, they were split down the middle. And it's just interesting how it can be so different, but also so similar at the same time.
Yeah. It's funny because some of these things I have on my list, they directly are incorporated with Leia. Because I'm going to save the big one for the end, which if you're any Star Wars fan, you should know that this was the main way R2 saved was a hero of Star Wars, but it's directly involved with Leia. So something I thought it was really cool how he defeated the Buzz Droids in Revenge of the Sith, kind of helps hide Obi-Wan and Anakin a little bit. That's not such a huge big one, but he also comes along to deactivate the ray shields. Obviously, shortly after he arrives, the droid platoon or whatever you call it, they show up and bring them to Grievous. But moving forward to the sequel to the 0 for 2, the original trilogy, I think he saved your character's skin when he deactivates the trash compactor in A New Hope. So he saved
huge.
Yeah, he saves Chewie, Luke, Han, Leia. He saves the whole gang. Yeah, so I think that's a big one as well.
Again, it's interesting that it's like everything he does creates a chain that is later on so effective. Like, it's not his direct thing that he does. It's not him directly stopping the trash compactor that saves the galaxy. It's because he saves them. They're able to do this. They're able to do that. And
you think of all the doors he's opened. Like, think of all the doors he's opened.
Literally, what would they have done?
No, nothing. Like, all the doors he's opened and closed, and just everything he's deactivated and activated throughout 9. Because it's not like he's in Rogue One or Solo. He's not in Rogue One for very long. He's there for like 5 seconds. But throughout all of that, throughout the Clone Wars, and a little bit in Rebels, like, he's always there. He's always doing something, like you said, that is the start of that chain reaction. I like how Brett says he sees a lot of Padme and Leia, which I completely agree with.
Completely agree. 100%.
And that's... We get a lot of qualities from our parents, and although Leia wasn't raised by Padme, she was raised in a lot of those same ways that Padme was raised, because Padme wasn't royalty, but she was a queen at a very young age, and then Leia was raised by Bail, Organa, and Briha, and they were very important people on... Why am I... It's the first planet they blow up. Why am I forgetting this? Alderaan. Brain fart. I'm sitting there like, what is the planet?
For Alderaan.
Exactly. Good one. But they were raised in a lot of those same proper and royal-esque ways. So I think that automatically being a leader at a young age, that instills a lot of different characteristics that are needed to be a leader in you.
I think it's interesting that both of the kids seemed to take the best qualities from both of them. The best qualities from Anakin and the best qualities from Padme.
Well, I'm sure they got some bad ones too.
I'm sure they did too, but like, the good here outweighs the bad, obviously. Yeah. But it's like, literally, if you take all those qualities, throw them in a blender, pour them out on the table, it's Luke and Leia chilling exactly right there. Right.
You are not wrong. You're not wrong. I'm going to go through a couple more.
Go for it.
He fixed the Falcon's hyperdrive. I'm blanking on the scene, but I remember when...
Why are there not robots in real life that can fix your car as you're driving down the road?
Dude, you're not wrong.
That's so cool.
You're not wrong at all. That'd be really nice. One day we will.
Homie just flying in space and doesn't have to stop R2. Get him off of us.
That ass. You're not wrong, man. A couple other things going, and this is the only one that I could think of through the sequel trilogy. Well, no, now that I'm sitting here thinking, I came up with another one. But the main one is he had the final piece to Luke's map. Without him, they don't find Luke.
Yes, 100. It's so funny because you're 100% right, but at the same time, you kind of just want to like punt him because he had it the whole time.
Exactly.
Like, bro, why didn't you just tell us earlier? Like,
or at least like let us know before you go into deactivation mode. Like, just let us know. Hey guys, in case you ever need it, I have the map. But maybe Luke didn't want R2 to tell him.
Maybe that was an order.
Yeah, and then R2 makes his own conscious decisions. So maybe he knew the time was right that they needed to find Luke at that point. I don't know. And then the second one I was thinking of was when Luke is sitting in the Millennium Falcon in The Last Jedi. He's talking to R2 saying, I can't do this. Like, I can't do any of this. Or almost like he can't be what everybody wants him to be. And R2 does the hologram of Leia, what you were saying earlier, help me, Obi-Wan, you're my only hope. And he says that was a cheap shot, but the very next thing we see is Luke tells Rey he's going to train her. So without R2, pushing Luke over the edge right there, maybe Rey doesn't learn how to become a Jedi.
There's a tendency with R2 pushing people over ledges.
Dude, you're not wrong.
Literally.
Yeah.
Figuratively and physically.
You are not wrong. You are not wrong. Well, I have two big ones at the end.
Go for it. Go. Let's hear them.
Well, no. I'm not done yet. But
okay.
Before I get to the two big ones, I think what makes R2 such a hero in Star Wars and just such a crucial character to pretty much all three trilogies and the show is knowing how present he was throughout the entire Star Wars story. And we've talked a lot about it, how he's sorry, I got an itch. I don't mean to keep like touching my face. We've talked how he's present throughout, the story, but think of like direct moments in more of the Star Wars movies. So, people in the galaxy didn't really know about him, but we know as the fans how crucial they are to the story. And the first couple things that come to my mind are he was present at Anakin and Padme's wedding. I think it was said that they were like a gift. Padme and R2 were like gifts to each other or something. Mm-hmm. I don't know. But he was...
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was present at their wedding, and he was present at the birth of Luke and Leia. And what's cool about, being there at Leia's birth is when Leia passes away in Rise of Skywalker, R2's the only one right next to her on the bed. So I know a lot of times I wondered throughout Rise of Skywalker why R2 didn't go. And this was the first time I was watching it. Attaboy. This is the first time I was watching it. I'm like, why isn't R2 there? He's a key. I know he hasn't. He's been underutilized in the sequel trilogy, but he's still a key Star Wars character. Why is he not going on this mission to save the world, or save the galaxy? And then you see Leia die, which there are some important characters in there with, Maz Kanata being there, Rose being there, but they don't mean as much to, Leia and to the Star Wars fandom, I'd say, as R2-D2 and other characters. So I think at Leia's death, they needed Chewie on the... Well, they were helping rescue Chewie, too. They need Rey, Poe, Finn. Luke's not there. Han's not there. All the main characters are gone. But R2... They need 3PO to get to where they're going. But R2 was the one... They could afford to have him stay behind. And, for the sake of the story, he was the one that was... there in her final moment. So I think that was really cool, just knowing where all he's been in galactic history. So he was there at the wedding, there at the birth, there at her death, and then this is a really cool one. I like how he's there throughout, a lot of Anakin's training as a Jedi throughout the Clone Wars, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith. He's there throughout Anakin's training. He's there throughout Luke's training on Dagobah, and from there he's pretty much with Luke through thick and thin at that point. And then in a very new one, he's going to be there for Grogu's training. Or his first, Grogu's kind of second exposure to training to use the Force. So I just think that's so cool. And his appearance in Mando, I was already bawling watching Luke Skywalker, but I didn't even expect R2, and then R2 just pops in, and oh my gosh. That was incredible.
We've said it 100 times, man. That forever will be the finale of season 2 of Mando will forever be one of the most memorable things I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah. It's almost... You have Endgame and Infinity War and all these other movies where you remember going to the theater, all of this. And before we started doing reactions, I didn't really make it an event to watch Mandalorian episodes and stuff like that. And I remember our first reaction when we reacted to Ahsoka, man, we're getting set up. It's not like we were on the phone or anything watching these episodes together. We weren't able to. So the fact that we started doing these reactions, and now every episode, Marvel, Star Wars from here on out, it's kind of like an event. It might be at 3 a.m, and I wish I could watch them at midnight, but it is really, truly like an event for me. I wish we could go to the theaters, but you're exactly right, man. Like, not being able... this not being a medium where we're watching it in the theaters, and us having almost like an event where we're watching these episodes together, that was... I'll never forget that either. I know you're replying to Brett's comment. That's super interesting, and I think we should talk about that.
Yes.
I will never forget seeing Luke Skywalker and R2-D2 pop up in The Mandalorian. And it sucks when I look at it and other fans didn't feel the same way. Because if you didn't feel that same way, man, like, all humans are different. It sucks that you weren't able to have that experience that I had. Because I cried. Like, that was one of the most exciting things I've ever seen in Star Wars. Ever.
Dude, that whole like 6 or 7 minutes that it took.
Yeah.
It was almost it's so interesting going back and thinking about it when we watched it happen for the first time. I don't want to say like suspense of it, but it was more than that. It was like no way that's Luke. No way it's Luke.
Yes, because
we even saw a green lightsaber. We're like, no way that's Luke Skywalker.
Well, I wouldn't say
Skywalker. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's
there's that doubt.
There's no way they did this. There's no way this is happening right now. Like, what are we seeing? This is like, oh, it's got to be like he lost his saber or something that's just an Easter egg, and all of a sudden he takes the.
And it's Plo Koon. Have you seen that?
No.
Yeah, a lot of character. They told a lot of the actors and actresses in the movie that the Jedi at the end was Plo Koon.
What?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, I know at least Katie Sackhoff said that's who she thought it was.
We saw him die.
What?
We saw him die.
Well, yeah, but we also saw Darth Maul die and Palpatine die.
Okay,
no one's ever truly gone. So, I don't know. That's just what...
okay.
Maybe she was like, okay, we're going to get an explanation.
I love Plo Koon.
Oh, I know you do.
I really like Plo Koon.
I'm surprised you didn't see that, but... Dude, you're exactly right. Like, you see the X-Wing, you're like, what is this? You see a lightsaber, and I'm like, what is this? You see green, and I'm sorry, I'm messing
work.
with the fidget thing. What?
He's just doing work on these things. You still got the hood on, and we're like, what is going on?
I think the whole point of it is you didn't want to get your hopes up and truly believe it was Luke Skywalker, and then be disappointed.
Dude, it's kind of... I don't want to say it sucked because it hasn't, but going from Mando to like WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier, like the cameos that we're expecting, we went from literally Luke Skywalker to
I know.
You can't top that.
You can't.
So
You
like, is it
cannot.
just, is everything gonna get worse forever from here on out? Like, is it just all downhill from here?
Yeah, how do you match that? You
You
can't.
you
can't
can't
match
do
it.
it. You cannot do it.
And then throwing R2 in there on top, like
Dude.
I'm sorry, that was the chair.
Now
man.
and then throw in the most iconic symbol in the world right now, being Baby Yoda. Throw that all in there, and
oh my god,
jeez,
man, what
You
I
got
would
very
do to
odd-
go back and relive that hype going up to that last episode.
yeah. The thing is, we weren't
I did not
we
expect
weren't like
Luke.
super expecting. We weren't expecting anything like that.
We've
like
dude.
now we're expecting everything. Now we're
Yes.
expecting
to be like that.
everything to be like
To
that.
give
That's
us
just
that-
not possible.
Well, we went from getting Ahsoka for the first time live action. We had gotten Bo-Katan, which Bo-Katan does not compare to amazing character, but she doesn't compare to Ahsoka or Luke
No.
Skywalker.
No, it does.
But we got two of the biggest characters in Star Wars, so we're kind of trying to give ourselves that high again, you know?
Yeah,
And
100%.
it's hard to match that. It's very hard to match that. But I remember we've talked about this on the podcast before, is how at the beginning of Mando season 2, you said, I like that they throw in the subtle details. It's not like they're giving you, hey, it's Luke Skywalker.
And now it's Luke Skywalker.
And then I couldn't have wanted anything more.
No, 100%.
Let's talk about what Brett was bringing up. He
I was
says,
actually thinking
"I would
about that
like to see
earlier
who
when I was talking about like what it is that makes R2 special.
Yeah.
It's like like before he's with all of them, like is there literally something inside of him that gives him more anything? You know what I'm saying?
No, I
Like
get that. I have honestly never thought of where R2 came from. Because we know Anakin built C-3PO. We see R2 and 3PO meet, which is that's one of my favorite scenes in the Phantom Menace. But I've never truly thought, what was R2-D2 doing rolling around the galaxy before Phantom Menace?
I wonder if there'll be anything answered like that in this new show.
That'll be a hell of an origin story.
Yeah. Love that little Spider-Verse shout out right there.
Yeah, man. All right, so we're getting a little late on
We're
time.
very off topic, but
I know, and I'd
okay.
like to talk about a little bit of Marvel stuff before we hop off, but
Mhm.
I have two main reasons why R2 is the hero of Star Wars, and one of them directly involves Leia, so it's literally almost fate that you picked Leia. Main thing, the Death Star plans. It was his mission. 3PO, what mission? It was R2's mission to deliver the Death Star plans, or to deliver that message to Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he had the Death Star plans, and obviously that Leia's the one that gave it to him. So I think, I don't know, that's a big one for me. And finally, and I think this proves my point blank, because George Lucas said so. George Lucas agrees with me, and I think that's I could have done this whole conversation if we didn't need to fill up an hour, I would have just said that at the very start. George Lucas said so.
Is George Lucas like the Pope or something? Like, does he literally does his literal decision rule over all else?
In Star Wars, yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I was talking to a kid on TikTok because he was arguing with me on one of my Easter eggs for, like, he hates cameos because he thinks it's all fan service. And I'm like, dude, like, I feel bad that you feel that way because I love them. I get so excited. And he starts bringing up Maul coming back in the Clone Wars and how George Lucas didn't want this and that. I'm like, George Lucas was directly involved in the Clone Wars. He would not let something happen in Star Wars that he was not okay with happening and that would mess up continuity. If he would not let that happen if it was still under his control. And he didn't. So I'm just, I don't know, that really bugged me.
George Lucas said so. Mic drop, we out.
I should have done that. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot. Dang. All right, so do we have any closing thoughts on this topic? I really enjoyed this.
Honestly, there was a few more I was even like brainstorming about earlier.
Yeah.
that could easily get thrown in the conversation as well. But maybe that's probably a conversation for another time.
Definitely, for sure, for sure. Before we go into Marvel, Alec did his pop for quote show and tell, but I have my medal from. I got it at Steel City Comic Con from a booth. It's the medal from during a New
Real
Hope.
quick, last point. I know we mic dropped already, but the medal, another great point. Chewbacca never got one. Leia made sure that he did.
Hey, that's a good one.
Bam, another reason.
Well,
Boom.
maybe she should have done it originally. Pick your mic up.
Okay.
I'm just
Pick
messing
your
with you.
mic up.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so I got this at Comic Con. I just actually let me take it off for you.
Homie's struggling over there.
What'd you say?
I said homie's struggling.
I just have to take this off. So I'll give you one final look at it, and I'm sorry, I'm upgrading.
Other side.
I know, thank you. I'm upgrading my camera soon, so you guys will be able to see me more clearly. But let's talk some Marvel because we had a freaking awesome trailer drop yesterday with Shang Chi. And if you guys are interested, I actually did a reaction to it. Alec was pretty busy last night, but I had to react to the trailer. It's only like 5 or 6 minutes. Well, the reaction as a whole, the entire video, but it was about a 2-minute reaction, and that was freaking sweet.
Dude, I know they always call it like theatrical trailers or whatever, but like that was theatrical. Like that's an action movie. Like
Yes, that's one of the things I talked about. Like I was not expecting that much action in the trailer.
right.
I thought it was cool, and I don't know if you really weren't on your phone a lot yesterday. Neither was I, but I have people texting me and stuff. It was cool because
Oh, you got people texting you. All right.
yeah, well, Kevin Feige, he's like, "Yo, Nick, trailer dropped." I'm like, "All right, Kevin, I'll check
Hey, it's
it
in
out.
your DMs, bro.
Give me
Check
a
it
sec.
out. All right.
I got a job, all right? I'm actually working, Kevin." But no, so Marvel, the main character, Simu Liu, it was his birthday yesterday. And he was the one who dropped the poster for Shang-Chi. And then he said, "It's such an awesome birthday present getting this poster today. Trailer comes out in a few weeks." So I was like, all right, dope. We're going to get a trailer soon. Marvel drops it a few minutes later, and he freaks out on Twitter. He's like, "This is awesome. Best birthday present ever." And that was an awesome trailer. I am very curious, though, about some of the mystical elements of it because, one, it's a very hand-to-hand combat-driven thing. Well, driven movie. But there were a couple instances where I saw, like, energy. And I saw, like for example, in the one scene, there's that purple band, like spring-looking band around his skin. It's kind of making his veins
Like an
glow
aura.
purple. Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
when I see purple, I think of the Power Stone and I think of vibranium.
There's no way it's either of those.
No,
But
no.
yes, no, you're absolutely right. But like, I guess we don't know, dude. How about the How
Hold
about
up,
the
I wouldn't say it's I don't think it's a Power Stone, but I wouldn't bet against that it's vibranium. You never know. I don't know. I just wouldn't put it out of your mind. But what were you gonna say?
How about the Funko Pops that were released?
Those
They
are
look
dope.
sweet, dude. They look like some dope characters, man.
Yeah.
Like,
How about what was it, a tiger or something like that?
yeah, I don't even
Like
yeah.
the six, it was a big one. I'd like to see the movie first before I buy. Well, with me not knowing any of these characters like very deeply, I know the main ones. What?
Right. No, I'm with you.
Yeah, I know the main ones, but I don't want to buy the pop. I buy pops for a reason now. I don't just buy anything I like.
Right.
So, I'm going to wait to see the movie and pick which ones I really would like to have in my collection, but I can definitely tell you I'm going to get a few.
The here's something interesting. It comes out on my birthday. So
Oh yeah, September 3rd.
so I know what I'm doing.
Dude, going off of pops, I was thinking I can't wait to add the Falcon and Winter Soldier, some of those into the collection, but that's what brought me to I saw a leak
I know. I know. You saw a leak and then you sent it to me without telling me what it was.
Which one did I send you?
The Christmas ornament.
Well, I'm
so
sorry.
So thanks, bro. I appreciate that.
Yeah, there's a Christmas and if you don't want to be spoiled, don't check it out. But there's a Christmas ornament floating around of Falcon as Captain America.
Yeah, it looked dope.
Yeah, yo,
We're 100% getting a pop of that.
yeah. I saw.
100%.
I know Soups posted a video of this, but also there was another creator. I can't remember his name now, but there's another creator who posted it first as well. What if, after Bucky and the new Captain America, after they come in, save the day with whoever comes in, end of the series, Bucky throws a callback to the first Avenger when Bucky says, after he says, "Let's hear it for Captain America." And everybody just goes wild. I think that is so awesome. Like I'm kicking myself that I didn't think of that.
If that doesn't happen, that's a huge missed opportunity.
It is because
huge
some
missed
people call it
opportunity.
fan service, but I think that'd be so awesome, man.
How would that even remotely be fan service? It happens in the MCU
People find
happens in the
things to
MCU
complain
all
about.
the time, especially with Cap. How many times has he said, "I can do this all day"? How
Yeah.
many times? You need two hands to count it.
Yeah, true. You're not wrong. But going back, Shang Chi is gonna be an awesome movie.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to. I don't want to say the mix up in genre, but it's different.
Yeah, no, it really is different. When we're getting some of that in Star Wars too, so
I'm looking forward to that though. Like it's
Yeah.
nice. It's nice to refresh things.
And I think that's exactly what they're doing because we're in Phase 4 now. Brett says, "I like your Iron Man Funko Pop in the background." Which one, man? I'm just kidding. If you check me out on Instagram
he was
or
talking about mine. Look, I have one right there.
There you go.
Okay.
On Instagram and TikTok, I post a lot. I posted a decent amount of my Iron. I call it the Iron Legion. I post a lot of those lately. Well, a few pictures and videos. What were we talking about? I forgot.
Fan service.
Oh yeah, I don't know. People will always find something to. Oh no, we were talking about like these new genres.
Oh, that's right.
We're in the very beginning of Phase 4, but Phase 4 is I think the most different from the phase before it out of all the phases. If that makes sense. So
well, because like
Phase 1, 2, and 3 all piggybacked very directly.
It's a saga. This is
Exactly.
a sort of a new.
This is
new.
And we're getting solo films again. We're getting
Right.
kind of a fresh start at new heroes. So I'm super excited for all those. But Alec, do you have anything else? I think I'm good, man.
Yeah, same man. I thought it was a good convo.
This hour went quick.
I know it really did.
I don't know how it went that quick. I felt like we just started. I don't know, but guys, we really appreciate you joining. We appreciate the couple people in the chat for sure. Thank you for joining us tonight. Everybody watching at home, thank you so much for tuning in. We've had a couple videos come out the past couple days. I actually did an unboxing of. I can't believe I didn't do this for show and tell. I did it.
Oh, yeah.
I did an unboxing of my new Cap statue. So if you want to check that out, this thing is gorgeous. So definitely check that out. And then, again, our reaction to episode 5 of Falcon Winter Soldier and reaction to the Shang Chi trailer. But other than that, guys, I know tomorrow we're going to have our reaction to... reaction after reaction after reaction. There's a lot of stuff to watch. We're going to have our reaction to the second part of the first Tartakovsky Clone Wars episode. So part 1 came out yesterday, so that's another one you can go check out. Part 2 is coming out tomorrow, so definitely check that out. It's our first watch of this show, so it's pretty exciting for us. But I think that's all I got. Alec, do you have any closing thoughts?
Nah, as usual, guys. Thanks for tuning in and sticking with us this far. We really appreciate it, and it adds to the conversation, and it kind of makes us feel like you guys are a part of it. So we really appreciate that.
Well, that's the point. I think that's one of the main reasons we started live streaming is because we wanted it to be more of a community than us just kind of talking to a screen. So I like this setup a lot better. And let us know, anything we could be doing better. But, until the next time we see you guys, may the force be with you.
Remember, the Force will be with you. Always.